Good morning, guys, ladies, gentlemen. Um, Monday morning, day 22. Wow, here we go, pushing through, right? I hope you had a great weekend, and I hope you had a great morning, or you're going to have a great morning. I've got students walking in, so I'll make this kind of, well, you know me, in short, right? On that question, let me ask you this real quick. How long should these videos be? How much time do you actually have to sit and watch these? I know sometimes, we don't have we have a lot of events in the day that sometimes we can't do things for 30 minutes. So what do you think? Do you want 5-minute videos? You want 10-minute videos? You like the 30-minute videos? Give me some feedback on that, okay? Because I'm going to be, as we roll into our next challenge at the end of this month, I've got a lot of great ideas from you guys. And I'd like to know what works for you. Okay, so we're going live today, Monday, day 22. Be positive. All right, so let's review a little bit real quick. On the lady who has back pain, I got a couple, not a lot, excuse me, a couple of responses and replies with regards to people in their own pain and their back. And what I found out, and I wasn't really surprised by this, but it always, okay, I'm not a big advocate on drugs, okay? I'm not talking about illegal drugs. I'm talking about drugs that are prescribed. Because growing up, I watched people get lost in prescription medication and ailments that weren't necessary. Okay, and what I mean by that is, I believe that some of the people that I witnessed as a younger person growing up that were prescribed medications out of convenience for the doctor, maybe, or for the patient, maybe. Now, I understand doctor-patient relationships, and I like that personal touch, and I think that more physicians should be selective in their patients. And I don't mean, okay, you can't be my patient, but I think they should say, okay, I'm going to limit myself to 100 or 200 patients, and I'm going to be their doctor. And then, then the relationship is different. But I'm sorry, I got off track. I have a doctor student who is very much about that, and he spoke to me about it, and I was really enthused by the idea that he might be moving in that direction. Okay, let's go back. So back pain and medication. So there's a lot of people on a lot of medications. I know that certain medications are very helpful. Don't get me wrong, okay? But what I do know from personal experience is that you are capable of some amazing things without them, okay? Our bodies are built, manufactured, designed, created, whatever you want to say, to take care of these things. And part of it is, I went over the other day, that everything that you sense is food, right? What you see, what you taste, what you touch, what you smell, what you hear. It's all food that comes into your body from one source or another, and it becomes who you are. If you change that, and you monitor it, and you watch it, and you take control of it, you can really take control of your health. You really can. So on that note, I want to share some happy news with you. A lady friend of mine who was experiencing back pain, I asked some questions. I asked what's going on. She had some discs fused, if you guys know what that means. And I really don't know exactly what to ask, so she was unable to answer the questions for me exactly what I needed about the medical part of it. But what I did get out of her is this: her diet sucks. And this isn't, I'm not attacking her personally, but her diet sucks. And she eats like I used to eat. All the good stuff, all the Arizona foods, Mexican food, cheese crisps, and that's a quesadilla for those of you who don't know what a cheese crisp is. Quesadilla, what a fancy word for a bunch of crap. Cheese crisp. Anyway, her diet sucks. So when she started telling me what was messing with her, like inflammation and some of the things that's going on in her body that messes with some of the medications that she's supposed to take for pain and this and that, I was like, holy crap, this is clear as day. And it's clear as day because of the information that I learned from my daughter and her son and all the wonderful people that she has there. Ben, my coach. You start doing research into what it is you're ingesting, and the Ayurvedic medicines, the idea from Deepak Chopra's people about everything is food. When you learn these things, it's amazing what we have forgotten about taking care of ourselves. And I mean forgotten because you know all this stuff. You know all the good stuff. It's already in you. It's been programmed in you. All you just forgot. Why? Because we eat for the wrong reasons. And what we eat is, now not everybody, and I'm not attacking people, okay? But in this instance, I'm excited because I know I can help. And that is so cool. You know, she's suffering from pain. She's not happy. She's being positive, but she has some struggles. And when she told me, she laid out her diet and she told me what was going on a little bit. I don't know everything. Bam, right away, I was like, I know what can change your world right now. And I'm going to share with her some of the information that my daughter shared with me, and I'm going to point her in that direction. And if she reaches out to them, she's going to change her world in 3 weeks. I can't wait. And we will share the progress with you guys. But I'm telling you, just changing her diet and I'm not talking about eating rice cakes and paper, okay? The diet that when I say diet, I'm just talking about the foods that you eat, not starvation and, you know, you got to cut all your carbs and you got to do this. No. You eat clean. You eat clean. And I will harp on that later. Let's get back to being positive. I'm extremely positive because when she showed me that, it was like, holy crap. The amazing things that are going to happen in the next 2 or 3 weeks for this lady, it makes me excited. So good morning, guys. Hi, Dan. Hey, Mr. Motley. How you doing? Mr. Huntley, up at 4 o'clock. Hey, Aaron, how you doing? Today, day 21. Mr. Huntley, again, sent me a cool analogy that he came across about your cup, filling your cup. Now, as a martial artist, you hear this a lot, fill your cup. And if you have a full cup, I don't know if you ever watched the Miyagi movies or any martial arts movie, but if your student comes to you with a full cup and you know everything, how will you ever learn anything else? Your cup is too full. So there's a lot of analogies around a cup. My favorite one that pertains to the cup is cup check. No, I'm just kidding. Kempo people, you know what I'm talking about. Put good in, get good out. Okay. So let's go through a couple of the cup analogies. His was, Matt, what do you put in your cup? What do you carry around in your cup? And if you're somebody bumps into you while you're carrying your cup, what spills out? And that would be the same thing like, you know, if they bump into you physically, let's just take it physical for a minute. Somebody bumps into you, how do you respond to that? Oh, excuse me, totally my fault. I wasn't paying attention. If you take responsibility for the action that just took place, that means you're not a victim. Did I open up the can of worms? We can come back to that and I'll explain it to you, but it's an awesome philosophy. So they bump into you. What spills out of your cup? Is it aggression? Is it anger? Is it, you know, stress, frustration? Or is it kindness? Is it caring? Is it love? Is it sharing? Is it happiness? Is it goofiness? What do you fill your cup with? So this morning, as you drink your coffee or your tea or your water or your milk, or your orange juice, whatever it is you're drinking, your vodka, your Jack Daniels, I don't know. I'm not endorsed by any of those, by the way. When you drink your coffee or your drink, okay, in your cup, let's physically make it a incantation. And we're going to talk about incantations. So I'm going to write that down so I don't forget. Think about what else you could be putting in there. So not in your cup, but so you drink and you drink, and as you drink, you know, think about soaking up happiness or soaking up positivity, or today I'm going to radiate with optimism, or whatever it is. Whatever, you know, if somebody bumps into you and they walk away, what would you like them to think about them? Holy cow, that person was so happy, or wow, I've never met anybody that made me feel so positive or happy about something. Or wow, what a turd, you know, that person's mean. Or so what's in your cup? Another analogy is if your cup is too full, you can't learn anything, right? So if you put all of this other stuff in there, you got no room for happiness and no room for positivity and no room for enthusiasm and optimism. So what's in there now, and can you get rid of it? Now, getting rid of it doesn't mean drink it. Okay. Don't let those negative things that may already be in your cup become a part of you. Get a new cup. Okay. Get one that has a nice funny saying or a never mind. Just get a cup that has, something that makes you smile. Get rid of the bad cup. Just get rid of it. Okay. That could be situations. It could be people. It could be objects. It could be where you are. Seriously, if you need to change your location, do it. If where you live is killing you, why the heck are you living there? Move on. Okay. Oh, I can't. I don't have any money. Yeah. If you say you can't, guess what? You can't. If you make it a must, you're going to get it. Okay. So what's in your cup? Is it too full of crap to put good stuff in? Get rid of it. If it's there today, put some good stuff inside you, right? Okay, now let's move on. Another cup. If it's full of good stuff and you need more stuff in there, get a bucket. And that's what I tell my students. If you come to me and you think you know everything about martial arts and you think you know everything about life, awesome. If you've got that much experience and you've got a little cup, you need a bucket. Get a bucket, pour that cup in there, and come back to me and get some more. And we'll keep filling that bucket's full. All right, so let's move on with the cup. Mike, thank you very much for chiming in. I love it. Keep them coming. Let me know how your days are going, too. I would love to know, are you retired now, Mike? Are you taking photos? She has some great photos. I don't know if you're doing that for a living. You don't have to be public about it, but I'd love to know what you're doing now these days. I know you got a lot of experience. Okay, so moving forward, that was an awesome analogy. Here's the thing I want you to focus on today, okay? So being positive. We've touched on a lot of different subjects on how to be positive and how to help other people be positive. And, there's simple things like smile, shake somebody's hand, hold the door. These are simple things for me, but I hear people get in trouble all the time for holding the door for somebody or do it anyway. If it makes you happy, do it anyway. I'm going to continue to do it. I'm not going to stop me with that stuff. What motivates you? Okay, this is a tool I wanted to share with you today. What is it that motivates you? Knowing what motivates you and how you motivate helps you achieve your goal, helps you create your why, and it helps you move forward, okay? Now, let me explain this real quick. People are motivated or moved to action, it's a great way to put it, for two reasons. There might be a couple more, but really there's two basic reasons. Two main reasons, excuse me. Pain or pleasure. You are motivated by pain or pleasure. Sometimes it's a little both, I know. Stay with me. My mind goes that way too. I'm a rock star, right? Old rock star guy. Anyway, pain or pleasure. Some people motivate towards, some people motivate away from. Where you're at the moment needs to be understood so that you can move in a positive direction. Let me help you, okay? If you don't want something to happen, and I'm trying to be positive here, and I'm going to try and come up with an analogy or a situation. Let's say your finances are not where they want to be, okay? So let's just with finances for a minute. Everybody can relate to money for some reason. But so you don't have enough money, and where you're working is not paying you enough, or you're not making enough, or whatever, or you're not even working or something. And you're going to lose your house. If you don't do something pretty soon, you're going to lose your house. You're going to lose your car. You're going to lose, or you can't put your kids in daycare, or something terrible is going to happen if you can't raise your money income flow. Well, if you let it get that bad and your situation is such, are you motivated by pain or pleasure? Probably pleasure, because you've been doing things to please yourself and not doing things that need to take place. When it gets bad enough, you're going to light a fire under your butt, or you're going to lose your house. Now that's motivated by pain. You're going to avoid the pain of losing your house, to avoid the pain of losing your car, to avoid the pain of not being able to send your kids to the school you want them to go to. That pain will push you, hopefully, in a direction to make a positive change. So you're motivated by pain. If you're motivated by pleasure, and you know that if you get up and go to work today and you raise your standards and you create a value in yourself and a self-worth that says I am worth more, and you build a value for the people that you surround and touch in your daily, your finances will follow. If you give, you will receive. Now, I'm not saying go give your money to people. That's what I'm talking about. But when you give, you definitely get back. And it's not about just money. It's about your time, your effort, your love. Don't be selfish with that stuff, okay? And it comes back. So you're motivated by pleasure. Does that make sense? You're motivated towards, you're motivated away from. You'll see people that are addicted, you know, the same way. Some of them have to hit rock bottom to motivate by pain before they bounce. Some of them, you know, the ones that do whatever it is they're doing, whether it's prescription drugs or illegal drugs or alcohol or whatever they're addicted to, they're generally motivated by the pleasure of the moment versus the outcome later, right? The moment. So what motivates you? Are you motivated by pain or are you motivated by pleasure? Both are okay. Both serve you. Let me give you an example. If you can create enough pain in your current situation that you're unhappy with, you'll move away from it. I guarantee it. If you tag enough pain to where you're at, and okay, let's say you're not happy where you're at first, and you can tag enough pain to that, enough, I am not going to put up with this, you will drive forward away from it. You will motivate yourself by the pain of where you're at and your unhappiness and you're unsatisfied, and you will move toward pleasure and you will move away from pain, and it will work. I guarantee it. So what motivates you and how can you get focused on how to use it? That's just a little tool I wanted to share with you. So how do you become positive? Avoid pain. Okay, well, I don't know. You may like pain. I don't know. It's up to you. So let's move forward there. I'm sorry. It's Monday. It's early. What motivates you? That's all I wrote down. What's in your cup, Mr. Huntley? And I've got 10, like I said, you know, the other day I gave you Tony's top 10 rules for success. I want to touch on a couple things before I give you Arnold Schwarzenegger's. And there's a lot of different views on Arnold's. People think that they know his 10, and he's never really come out and said, these are my 10. And he came out one time and said 6, and I wrote those down for you. Well, let's do this. Lessons. The lessons that you're learning through this 22 days so far, and I hope you're learning something, the lessons that I'm sharing will not pertain to every moment of your life. Okay? There are certain lessons that are specific for certain events or ideas. There's a lot of lessons in here, though, if you've caught them, that are general enough that you can apply to who you want to be, and that radiates through everything in your life. Let me try to clarify and be positive, okay? Day 22. Stay focused, Jim. When I teach martial arts, and I teach a technique, and a technique is a series of moves that you use to defend against a certain type of an attack, okay? And if you watch some of my martial arts stuff, you understand. Not every technique works for every attack. There are a lot that do. So how in the world, I know 1,047 different Kenpo techniques because of the 3 different systems that I've studied, okay? How do I remember which one to do when I'm attacked? I don't have to. Okay, I've installed those into my being, and I've become this Kenpo person who can speak the conversation without having to look back at previous conversations. I just know what it is I want to say in that moment physically, because I know exactly who I am at that moment physically. So knowing who you are and what you stand for and what you want to become and where you're headed and the why that you're going to be there allows you to take all the lessons that you've learned, program them in, install them, whatever you want, whatever analogy you want to use, and retrieve them at the moment that's necessary. You don't have to think about it. You really don't. When you have put good in, good will come out. I hope you're never in a physical altercation where you have to defend yourself, but if you are, some of you on here are great martial artists that I know, you've got that information. It doesn't have to be forced. You don't have to go out and beat the heck out of people all day long to know that it's going to work. Okay? It's going to work based on who you are as a person. Put it in, know who you are and why you're doing things, and it'll come out that way. I think I'm going to have a student knock on the door here in a minute. I may take you with me. I may just make him wait outside. Let's go. Let's take a walk real quick. Yeah, it's Mr. Saunders. So he's going to yell at me. All right, so that's the dojo. We're walking around the dojo here. Oh, how's it going, buddy? All right. That's a little tour. Hope you're not dizzy. Get busy, buddy. I'll be out there in a second. let's get back to what we're doing. So every lesson's not for everything. How can you remember them all? You know, it's based on who you are, not really what you want to do. Got that? How long should the videos be? Let me know. Should it be 5 minutes, 10 minutes? Today we got like 20 minutes going so far. And I talked about incantations yesterday when I mentioned incantations. You know, being able to say things. It's not just rote memorization. What you need to do is get yourself physically involved with the ideas that you're training your mind to believe. I am incredible. You can't just go, I'm incredible. Happy. Okay, you got to make yourself feel that way. So when you're doing an incantation, it's different than just words, okay? Make that happen. All right, Arnold's, I've got his 6, and then I've got 10, so I'm going to read them both to you. Arnold Schwarzenegger, I know some people, he's made mistakes. We've all made mistakes, okay? That's how we learn. We're human beings, for gosh sake. None of you are perfect, and I love that. I'm not perfect, and I'm okay with that. Have I stumbled along the path? Absolutely. Have I learned from those mistakes? Yes. Even if it's just how to recognize them the next time I'm going to make them. Arnold's not perfect. I know he's not the perfect guy, and I know that some of you may or may not have, you know, an idea or opinion about Arnold Schwarzenegger. But if you look at his accomplishments and you look back at the things that he's done, he's had some incredible moments. So when you seek success, or when you look for excellence, and you look at people who have achieved it, I never look at the negative things that they have done. Okay, I look, if there's something that they've done that I can use, I want those seeds. Okay, that makes sense? So regardless of what you think of Arnold, I could have put any name on here and told you they were somebody else's. These are the 6 things that I have read about Arnold that radiate or not radiate. I'll just give them to you and then we'll talk about them. Number 1, trust yourself. And let's see if these are there's 6. Yeah, I'll read 6 and then I'll read 10. Okay, so number 1 is trust yourself. That's an easy one. Trust that you know who you are and you're comfortable with what you want. And if something's not right, trust yourself to change it. You don't have to listen to other people. You can when you get advice. Let's say you're asking somebody advice on what you should do for a living. They might give it to you and tell you what they think you should do. It's an okay thing to listen to that answer and put it up there. You may never thought about being a foot doctor or a veterinarian, but they tell you and you go, let me try that hat on, see what it's like. So listen to their advice. If you've asked, you must value their opinion. Stick it in your head, but don't make it, yeah, he's right, they're right, I should do this, and then go do it unless it's right for you. Okay, so trust yourself. That's number 1. Now, number 2, and I love this one, break the rules. And it doesn't mean break the law. Break the rules. When somebody comes to you, and Arnold says this, and I love this, someone says, you know, that's not how you do it, and that's not how it's supposed to be done, and you know you're getting results from it, who cares what those rules are? Don't. It's not, those aren't your rules on how to do what it is you want to do, right? I'm a singer, and people need to warm up and practice all the time, and you know, we have to go and we have to do this and rehearse, and before the show we need to do this. No. I don't do any of that. Before a show, I get happy, I listen, I talk to the crowd, I sit, I meditate to myself, and then when I go on stage, that's the first time sometimes that my mouth is even opened to say anything. And I love it. Same thing with this. So break the rules. Number 3, don't be afraid to fail. This one comes back in number 10 too. Do not be afraid to fail. Know that you're going to fail. I heard somebody talk about being an airline, or not an airline, but an airplane pilot in Korea or Vietnam. Military, let's just say military. And he said they trained to fail every day. And what he meant was they were taught to take their fighter jet and kill the engines, and I can't remember the term they used, and crash land. They were taught to crash land. Why? They were taught to fail. In the event that the plane had to crash, they knew how to handle it. They were taught to fail. Now, I've got thoughts about that, but think about that. Knowing that when you do fail, you're going to get up. And he did. He said he crashed 3 times, and he lived to tell about it in the war. So plan to fail. Don't be afraid to fail. There was another analogy about kids walking. If you have kids, or you're going to have kids, or you've got little ones now, or whatever, and how long did you give them to learn to walk? Okay, so they start trying to walk, and they can't get it after 2 weeks, you just say, screw it, you're not going to walk anymore, you're just going to crawl. You take the shoes away from them, okay? No, they fall down and they get back up, and you help them. They fall down, they get back up. You let them try until. That's a key term. You try until. Otherwise, there'd be a lot of people that weren't walking, and I'm talking about the ability to walk, okay? I'm not being insensitive, but if you're walking and you have the ability to walk, it's because you were allowed to fail and try again and fail and try again. So get back up. And I think that's on here too. Don't be afraid to break the rules. Don't be afraid to fail. You're going to fail. Learn from it, move forward. Don't listen to the naysayers. You will have people that tell you about the rules that will also tell you, you can't do that. There's no way you can do it. What are you talking about? You're not meant for that, or there's no way you can do that. Don't listen to the naysayers. Those are people that when they say you can't, they're really talking about themselves. I have people, talk about martial arts all the time. That's not an effective martial art, or that's not going to work, or that's not going to work. You know what that is? That's a reflection of what they believe about themselves. It is. When I practice a technique and I say that technique's not going to work, it's because I could not make it work myself. Again, I'm talking about martial arts, but that's my life, people. Here I'm in the dojo. So, don't listen to the naysayers. You've got to learn to plug your ears. And when they start talking to you about you can't, or it's impossible, or why would you do that? You can't be a rock star, or you can't be a doctor, or you can't be a stockbroker, you can't be a parent. Don't listen to them. Trust yourself. Okay. Number 5, Arnold, work your butt off. His work ethic, according to him, because I wasn't there to see, is incredible. His whole idea on the 24 hours you sleep 6, you've got the rest to work, right? If you have to sleep more than 6 hours, his advice is to sleep faster. I love it. So your work ethic, you need to work your butt off. Get up earlier than your competition. You should be a competition, but get up earlier than your competition, hit the ground running, know what you're doing, and work until you achieve it. Now, if you work really hard, does that mean you can't enjoy life? Well, what if you work at life? What if you're working at improving yourself every day and loving people every day and enjoying life? If that's what your work is and you enjoy what it is, it's really not working, right? So work your butt off. Number 6, give back. This is something that you'll hear from every successful person. And when I mean successful, I don't just mean financially successful. Even though a lot of people tag that, I'm talking about successful people across the board. When you have anybody that's successful in life, relationship, money, whatever, they'll tell you to give back. What you give, you will get back. It's amazing. And I've heard this said too, I've given and I've given and I've given to this one person and they never do anything for me. Well, you don't do it for that reason, and you may not get it back from that person. They may be a taker. But that's not how it works. You give what you can give and share what you can share and teach what you can teach. And somewhere in your universe, it will come back to you. It really will. Trust me. Okay, so give back. I'll go really quick through the 10 and I'll let you go. I'm going to get out here on the floor. 10 rules for success, Arnold Schwarzenegger. And again, he's never come out and said anything other than those 6 that I just read you. I've heard him speak these in other conversations, but here they are. Have a clear goal. We've talked about that. Get clear on what you want. Number 2, think big. You can set little goals like today I want to get up and exercise. That's okay, but think bigger, not what you're going to do, but why you're going to do it. I'm going to change my body. You know what I'm working for? I want 22-inch biceps. I've never had more than a 19-inch bicep, but I want 22. Why? Because Arnold had them. And I just want to see if I can do it. I know I can do it, so I'm working on it. Let's go. We're going to morph. So think big. It doesn't have to be your muscles. And turn your liabilities into assets. Arnold, obviously had some liabilities when he started his career. His accent, his size, believe it or not, was a liability in the movie business, and people didn't want it. And then after he did the Terminator, he came out and said that the producers and the director said, if we didn't have you, we would have had to have invented you. Because his accent worked perfect. His size was perfect. So turn your liabilities into your assets. Some of the things in the fallbacks and the lessons you've learned in life are going to be lessons that you can teach to other people. I'm sorry I'm going quick, but I'm in visual mode. Here we go. Ignore the little man. Ignore the little man. I'm not sure what he meant by that, but I think it's the same thing as ignore the naysayers. People who can't do it, won't do it, will not do it, will tell you you can't do it and try to hold you down to. Ignore those people, okay? Let's move forward here. Let's see what's going on. Nice. Work your butt off. Number 5. Number 6, make the world a better place. Always add value to whatever it is you're doing. If you're not adding value by what you're doing, you need to rethink what it is you're doing at the moment, okay? Adding value can be across the board for anything, environment, you, or others, okay? So think about that. Make the world a better place. And don't be realistic, okay? I think that one was also about breaking the rules. Have you ever, I had people tell me this when I was growing up all the time when I told them what I wanted to do for a living. Be real. What do you mean be real? Be realistic. I do this, I'm guilty of this to my son. I want him to have a real understanding of how life works, but he's shooting for the stars. He's telling me, Dad, I'm going to make $3 million in 2 weeks. And I tell him, son, okay, but then I say, you need to have a job in the meantime so that you have money coming down the pipeline so that'll help facilitate the $3 million you're going to make. And I didn't ask him what 3 weeks he's going to make it in, but I wanted to. Is it just 3 weeks? Is it 3 weeks down the road? I believe he can do it. He just needs to be realistic. Well, don't be realistic in your big goal setting, but be congruent and true to yourself. Okay, so I guess that's how my understanding of that. Number 8, don't be afraid to fail. We talked about that. You're going to fail. Don't plan for it. Okay, here's my take on that. I'm sorry. When I said the pilot planned to crash, I think if you focus on stuff like that and you plan for it, you're really looking for it. Train for it, prepare for it, but don't focus on it. If you follow martial arts at all, I used to have a huge problem with judo and jujitsu today. Some of jujitsu today I do. And we'll get to that. And I have a problem with Aikido. Aikido is a beautiful art, and there's a lot of things about it I love. Judo, okay, sport. Jiu-jitsu, it is what it is, and it is what it isn't because people think it is something else. But when you train to fall, and I went to my first judo class, went to my first Aikido class, the first thing that they were teaching people was how to fall, how to fall, how to fall, how to fall. I'd never learned that. I was already a black belt. I never learned how to fall other than don't get hurt. Okay, this is how you can fall. In ninjutsu, I learned to roll instead of fall. You take the ground away from people when they try to throw you or take you down, or you take them into the ground. Anyway, so learn to fall. And then when I worked with the people in there with self-defense, it didn't take much to get them to fall. Why? They anticipated it, they expected it, they knew it was coming, and they wanted to fall. And I could throw them down anytime I wanted to. So I have an issue with that. But anyway, let's move forward. I know I'm crazy. Number 9, model success. This is a great one. Pick somebody you love, you like, or you want to have certain traits or characteristics from, and model that success. Plant the same seeds, get the same crop, right? But you have to till it and work it. You have to work it. Okay. Number 10, believe in yourself. That's easy across the board. Believe in yourself. Okay. I love you guys. Good morning, Nancy. You're up early in Arizona. Right on. So believe in yourself. And then I've got a quote here from the cowboy people: get up when you can't. Okay. I think everybody will tell you if you get knocked down, get back up. Walk away when you can. Not always can you walk away, but sometimes it's hard for us to let things go. We're trying. You've heard the expression, you can't beat, or what is it about the dead horse? I know I've heard it, I can't remember it. No sense in beating a dead horse, right? You can't get it up. It's a terrible expression. Why do I say that? But sometimes things aren't working, and we just don't let them go, and we want to keep struggling with this thing until we get it to work. Sometimes it's better just to walk away. So walk away when you can, and keep your mouth shut even when you don't want to. Tough one for me, right? I've got a lot to say. But that's good advice in a harsh situation, right? Okay. So I think we're good. That's a little more than 30 minutes, but like I said, keep your mouth shut. I got to learn. So day 22 of Be Positive. I know that in the whole guise of being positive, I've thrown a lot of lessons at you, and I hope you've learned some things along the way with the anticipation that they will help you be positive. This is just how I am. And generally, when I ramble like this, I'm channeling energies, And I'm not a channeler. I'm not. So when I use that term, it's the best one I can come through. I'm filtering. I'm radiating information. Usually, one or two people will go, oh, "Man, I was thinking just that thing the other day," or "Man, that really reaches me," because I know across the board we're all the same, and we all witness and struggle at times the same way, and we all enjoy and experience the same types of success. We're really one, people. We really are. So I hope something touched you today. If it didn't, I'll touch you tomorrow. And on that note, I'm going to go. I love you. Have a fantastic day tonight for the martial arts. And I'll try and keep these separate, guys. I know my pages are getting cluttered. I'll try and keep these separate. But I'm going to go live tonight with the martial arts. Tonight is Monday, so it'll be I don't know if it'll be 7 or 8. I'll let you know in a little bit, but it'll be one of those two by time, Eastern time, 7 or 8. And what I'm going to do is we're going to go back to fix the technique. People like that. I like it too. Unless I'm going to do a self-defense move. You guys can learn it. And for the martial artists that are watching, come on and tell me how you would change it, how you would fix it. I would love if you made your own video. That would be a lot of fun. But I'm only going to do it on Mondays, okay? So we'll come every Monday. All right, guys. I love you very much. I'm going to go teach Mr. Saunders. Great kid. You guys have a beautiful day, and talk back to me, okay? Answer some of the questions if you remember what they were. All right. I'll get this, right? Peace.